today we are going to discuss from the lesson Let's Walk Along with the Soil. So today's topic is the water absorbing capacity of the soil. What happens when you pour water into the soil? So you can see that when you pour water into the soil, some soil will absorb it. Haven't you noticed that, children? Yes. Some will not get absorbed, it will remain like that. So here is an experiment. Take 3 glass tumblers and take 3 coconut shells. The bottom of the coconut shell should have a hole. Cover the hole with a cotton or a cotton cloth. Now you have to collect muddy soil, sandy soil and red soil. Then what you have to do, you have to pour equal quantities of the soil into the coconut shell, into 3 coconut shells. Then pour water, equal amount of water into the 3. You can see that the water gets drained fastly in some glass, while it drains only little amount of water in some other glass. So from this we can understand that the soil which has absorbed the water more and which the water level is very low in the glass is the red soil. So red soil is suitable for the plant growth because it has lot of water absorbing capacity. In that glass only little amount of water was there. But when compared to other two, that is sandy soil and muddy soil, there were a lot of water present. So we can understand that the water absorbing capacity is less compared to the red soil. Only little amount of water is absorbed, other all it drained into the glass. So from this we can understand that soil has the capacity to absorb the water in some cases. Now next we are going to learn about is air present in the soil. For this there is another experiment. You take a vessel. In a vessel you take enough amount of water. Take the mud block or soil block and sink it into the water. What happens? This mud block, it has certain pores or certain holes in the mud block. In that holes, air is present. So when it was sink in the water, air bubbles start to come out. How? Because the water has gone into the holes of this mud block and there is no place for the air to stand, to accumulate in it, because water has occupied the holes. So the air is leaving outside in the form of bubbles. So from this we can understand that air is present in the soil. So these are the 2 experiments how water absorption capacity is there in the soil and how air is present in the soil. Next we are going on to soil erosion. Do you know what is soil erosion, children? Yes, it's the washing away of the top soil. A soil usually has three layers. The most important layer is the topsoil. Because why it is said to be important? Because it contains most of the nutrients which are the food for the plants to grow. In other words, the nutrients are also called as organic matter. So it contains more organic matter. So by the action of rivers, rainfall, streams, the topsoil is carried away to other places. We know that plants are standing firmly in the soil. So if the topsoil is washed away, the plants will also be going along with them and it will fall down. And the roots will be weakened and then it will be dried, so no plants will be grown there because the topsoil is being washed away so that the nutrients or the food which is essential for the plants is also taken away with the soil. So the plants will not grow there. So what can we do to prevent this soil erosion? You have to plant a lot of trees because the roots of the trees will hold the soil tightly, will hold the topsoil very tightly. If you are cutting down the trees, what happens? The soil becomes loose. There is no one to hold the soil. So we have to plant a lot of trees so that the roots of the trees will hold the topsoil so that the topsoil will not get washed away by the river, rainfall, etc. Another one is we can make the land into steps and we can make use of agriculture there. This making of steps will reduce the speed of the flow of water. So if the flow of water speed is reduced, the soil erosion also can be prevented to some extent. So these are the two ways, that is planting a lot of trees and making the land into steps and using that land for agricultural purposes are the two ways to prevent soil erosion. But nowadays, children, the soil is getting populated. It's getting polluted, it's getting polluted. How it's getting polluted? Yes, we are throwing the plastic, the pieces of glass, some cloth, everything we are throwing into the soil. So what happens? This plastics, this polyester cloth, these pieces of glass will not get decomposed, will not get mixed with the soil. Decompose means they will not break down and get mixed with the soil. They will remain there. So this will prevent the flow of the water into the soil. So there will be no flow of water into the soil. But when you put green leaves or vegetable waste, etc., after some times you will not be able to see them because it gets decomposed and it gets mixed with the soil, and that provides nutrients for the plants to grow. So don't pollute the soil. So how can we protect the soil, children? Yes, we should not throw plastics into the soil. We should reduce the use of plastics. Then we should not use chemical pesticides and chemical fertilizers. If you use it, it will kill the useful tiny creatures which is present in the soil. These tiny creatures are called microorganisms, which is used in decomposition, which is used to help down in breaking down. So when you add chemical fertilizers or pesticides, what happens? It will, the toxic substances, the harmful substances will kill these microorganisms, so that there will be no decomposition taking place. So the soil will not be fertile. What is the meaning of fertile? That it doesn't contain nutrients. So the plants will not be able to grow. So these are the different methods to protect the soil, and always do not mix the waste which can be decomposed and which cannot be decomposed. Don't mix the waste. Now we know that using mud we can make a lot of objects like earthen jar for cool water, flower pots, cooking pots and all you can make, roof tiles, floor tiles. This all can be made with the help of mud. So there are other substances also which cannot be made with the mud. They are TV, watch, fan, umbrella and so on. So we are using the clay mud. We are using because it is very sticky, children. So it gets easily mixed with the water and we can form a paste of it. So we use clay soil to make the pots and all, earthen jar, pots, flower pots, etc. We can make out many things from this clay soil. So what happens, children, if there is no soil? We know that plants grow in the soil. They need soil to grow. They need nutrients to grow. And we human beings and animals depend on the plants. So if the soil is not there, plants will not be there. So even the life also will not be there if there is no soil. So we have to protect the soil. This is about today's topic. So hope you have understood today's topic. Bye children.